So Murena, the company who previously brought you the Fairphone, has now released its own self-titled blower, the Murena One. And the big whoop here is that it is completely de-Google-fied. There's no googly action whatsoever. Instead of running full-fat Android, the Murena One instead uses the catchily titled /E/OS operating system, which is open source. And instead of Google Apps and Google Drive, you've got Murena Apps and Murena's very own cloud storage service. The mantra here is choose freedom, kind of a mashup between Trainspotting and Braveheart. But is the Murena One actually a good choice if you value your privacy and you don't want Google getting its hands all over your sensitive bits? Well, let's whip it on out the box, check out the software, the hardware, all that good stuff. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Well, it's certainly not the most thrilling box of all time, but let's see what you actually get packed inside. Well, you've got yourself a Murena One smartphone that is properly shrink wrapped in there. Ugh. You've also got yourself a Type-C USB cable for charging, a pokey pin device for getting your SIM in there, not to be handled by unauthorized personnel. You've got a quick start guide as well, which explains how to migrate all of your stuff to the Murena Cloud, which we'll have a gander at in a bit. There's also various how-tos and tutorials about EOS and everything. Also includes support information. Apparently there's a user forum, and oh yes, there is a newsletter. And you've also got various stickers so you can let owners of lesser smartphones know how smugly superior you are. And that's it for the box. Sadly, no power adapter bundled in there, or if you're an environmentalist, then hooray, no power adapter bundled in there. Now, I believe I forgot to mention back at the start of this video, but the Murena One costs 350 euros. Although I've got to say, going off this design, it feels even more budgety than that. The frame itself is constructed from plastic, quite shiny, glossy plastic, as you can see there. So already picking up fingerprints and greasy scuffs. Although at least the black finish does a reasonable job of hiding that. And black is your only colour option as well. Don't expect any lighter models or more vibrant options. You've got dust and bits of crap just landing on this thing every 5 seconds. I'm having to constantly buff it up. But the Murena One feels pretty light at 186 grams, and at 6.5 inches it's not absolutely horrendously huge. You've got a similar bezel situation to some other mid-range mobiles like the Samsung Galaxy A23, quite a fat lip down below. Anyway, let's get this bad boy all set up. So it'll be different from your typical Android setup, of course. Just select your language and your current time zone. Get it hooked up to your Wi-Fi network. You've then got the choice of disabling location services if you want to remain ultra private. The Murena One then gives you the choice of setting up your fingerprint for security. Apparently the sensor is located on the back of the phone. Pretty sure it's not, unless it's really, really well hidden. And now here it is, it's on the left edge of the device. That's the first time I've ever seen a fingerprint sensor on the left edge of a smartphone. Certainly as far as I can recall, and thanks to our great mate alcohol, that's probably only a few weeks at best anyway. It's worth noting that you do actually get a separate power button here on the right edge as well, just to make it even more confusing. At this point, you'll then have the option of creating a cloud account with Murena. You just got to enter your personal email address and then you'll receive an invitation to a free Murena.io ID. You have to sign up for your account on a different device, a computer or another smartphone, for instance, then come back to the Murena One and sign in with that fresh account. And then once you're all signed in, you're good to go. So here we are, a good bit of EOS running on the Murena One, and it does have an old school Android vibe for sure. Just gonna swap to gesture navigation because I hate the old school navigation dock. There's no apps drawer, certainly none that I can find, so swiping up does bugger all. But if you swipe down, you've got access to a quick search. This is obviously not a bit of Google action. There's no Google Insight. This is Murena's own meta search engine instead. And then if you swipe up, get rid of that, and then swipe down from the very top, then you pull down your notifications bar, all of your various toggles right there. And then swipe this way. There's no Google Discover feed, naturally, but what you do have is a variety of widgets, kind of similar to what you get on a lot of custom ROMs, the likes of Huawei's smartphones these days. So for instance, you can see exactly how much of that cloud storage space you've got left. There's an advanced privacy widget that is somewhat terrifyingly telling me I'm vulnerable to trackers and my location is exposed and everything. But the Murena One can hide your IP address, it can prevent any tracking from going on, and it'll give you a fake location as well, which you can actually manage down here, manage my location. At the moment it's putting me somewhere in the Philippines by the looks of it. There's Manila, okay. Never actually been to the Philippines. This will be a far cheaper way of actually doing it. And from the advanced privacy section, you can also see exactly which apps are tracking you, etc. In this case, bugger all, because I've turned on that anti-tracking. So diving more into the About Phone section, as you can see there, EOS is based off Android version 11, so a reasonably old one now that we've just hit Android 13. And also the security patching is a wee bit behind there, so let's just see if there's an update. Nope, we're apparently fully up to date as of the 4th of November, so slightly troublesome considering this smartphone's supposed to be all about privacy and security. But anyhow, as you can see there, you get a small selection of pre-installed apps which do much the same of a lot of Google's pre-installed apps on regular Android phones. You've got a Maps app, which I've got to say does look and feel like a Maps app from about 10 years ago. It's certainly not particularly pretty, but if you just need to find your nearest watering hole, it should do the job. Just don't really expect any useful information, reviews, or anything like that. You've also got an email app. You do get your very own Murena.io email account when you sign up. Got a calendar as well, so you can store all of your important bits in there. Got a music app for playing locally stored tracks, and even a recorder. The web browser appears to be heavily based on Google Chrome. Unfortunately, it seems to be not one to actually load any websites at the moment, which is a bit perturbing. All right, we got there in the end. It's now loading up the likes of YouTube, although it is going pretty slow. Normally smartphones connected to my home network do a lot better than this. And it looks like the EOS community is pretty lively. They've got a fair few updates in the last few days. And that web browser by default will hide your IP address and your geolocation from websites and also block any pesky ads. So a lot of websites might actually become readable if they actually ever load up. Okay, so it appears it was the advanced privacy tool that was the culprit here, because as soon as I knocked that off, go away, all of a sudden all my web-based shenanigans sped right up and was absolutely fine again. So privacy, but at what cost? Slow as balls internet, that's the cost. Now Murena offers its very own cloud service alternative to Google Drive, imaginatively titled the Murena Cloud. When you sign up for a free account, you automatically get allocated 1 gig of storage, but you can upgrade this if you like. And as you can see here, plans start at €2 a month or almost €20 a year for 20 gigs of extra storage. Otherwise, you can bump it all the way up to a mighty 2 terabytes of storage if you've got a spare €25 a month. You've got a small variety of online apps. Actually, there's more apps if you tap here as well. So you've got the usual online syncing of your contacts and calendar and notes and all of that shenanigans. You've also got an online documents editor, spreadsheet editor, a good bit of presentation action. And if you so desire, you can download fresh apps as well, either via the usual APK route, otherwise via the built-in app lounge. Now, when you first load up the app lounge, you are given a choice of either signing in with your Google account, amusingly, otherwise you can enter it in anonymous mode. I do love the sound of the app lounge. I kind of feel like I should be browsing it with a cigar in one hand and a cognac in the other. But when I did a bit more digging about it online, I went to XDA Developers. They've done a great little piece on this. Apparently it's basically just a rebranded Aurora store. And if you haven't come across the Aurora store before, it's a not entirely 100% fully legal way of downloading apps from Google's servers. Basically, it violates Google's terms of service. So if you're going to use this thing, the app lounge, then you probably shouldn't sign in with your Google account. No, just in case you get heavily fisted by the legal arm of doom. And the app lounge isn't quite as nicely laid out as the likes of the Google Play Store or even Apple's App Store, but it's got everything you could possibly want. Or hopefully everything you could possibly want anyway, and the added bonus is that every single app comes with its own privacy score. This apparently detects exactly how much tracking each app does and also how many permissions they require to actually function. So the likes of good old TikTok, for instance, didn't score particularly well there, 4 out of 10. However, that said, somewhat confusingly, while Facebook Messenger rightfully scored low as well, Facebook Lite and Facebook scored 9 out of 10. That is utterly bewildering and makes me think maybe just ignore the privacy score. Of course, you can always just go down the APK route if you want to install any apps on this thing, kind of similar to what Huawei did with its whole Petal search shenanigans. And for downloading all of those lovely apps, you've got 128 gigs of storage space in the Murena One phone. Otherwise, you can also expand this using a micro SD memory card, slipping it into that second SIM slot. As for that edge-mounted fingerprint sensor, well, it seems to work absolutely fine, if not particularly swiftly. It is kind of strange having it completely disembodied from the power button, of course. So anyway, that's enough banging on about all the software side of things. Let's turn our attention more to the hardware of the Murena One smartphone. And the display here is a 6.53-inch IPS panel. Unfortunately, not an OLED screen like you get on a lot of rivals at this sort of price point, and that's basically a running theme with the hardware here on the Murena One. You are sacrificing some quality there in order to get those privacy tools. It's still a full HD plus resolution display, so nice and crisp, and the viewing angles are pretty decent. On the top brightness level, won't exactly singe your retinas or anything, but it's just about usable outdoors on a sunshiny day. Contrast ain't too bad though, again, not as good as an OLED panel. Colours not quite as poppy as you might hope when you are watching animated fare, but not too drab. And there's only a very dinky wee selfie camera orifice wedged away in a corner that only barely intrudes on proceedings when you do go full screen. You've got the usual features like adaptive brightness, good old nightlight action as well, but unfortunately you can't mess around with the refresh rate because it is just stuck at 60 Hz. Not particularly smooth at all, especially as it's an IPS panel. Usually the least you expect these days is a 90 Hz refresh. And unfortunately on the audio front, it's again not fantastic news. It is a basic mono speaker setup, not a stereo speaker setup as again you get on most rivals these days. But how is that audio? Well, let's bump up the volume and find out.
There's been bollocks all tech launches this week, or much of interest at all happening, really, to be honest, which is obviously ideal when you've got 15 minutes of a terrible news show to fill.
And yeah, it's kind of tinny and not particularly good, to be honest. So if I were you, I would get some headphones or a speaker connected, which you'll have to do via Bluetooth. Bluetooth 4.2, according to the official specs. There's no Bluetooth 5 action here, and sod all headphone jack. The reason for that out-of-date Bluetooth support is the fact that the Murena One is powered by the very ancient, very creaky MediaTek Helio P60 chipset. And that is something that I haven't seen stuffed inside of a smartphone for a good couple of years, I don't think, so it's not too surprising that things are a bit juddery. So this thing should run all of your apps okay, not particularly swiftly, but it should handle them fine. But if you are wanting a smartphone to do a bit of gaming on, I would say definitely look elsewhere. And there's also no 5G support because that's how old this bloody chipset is. So yeah, connectivity, not exactly one of its strong suits either. As for the battery, well, you've got a 4,500 mAh capacity cell crammed inside of the Murena One's glossy frame. And based on what I've seen so far, you should get around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time from a full charge. So not particularly stellar, especially as it's not exactly a super overpowered processor running this thing. And then finally, let's check out the Murena One's camera tech. And again, I would keep your expectations pretty low for that 48 megapixel primary shooter. Got a real-time ISO level and shutter speed readout here on the camera UI, which is pretty funky. Don't expect shed loads of camera modes or various other features either. You've got some basic toggles and that's pretty much it. There are 3 cameras slapped on the back in total. You can cycle between them with a little tap of this icon here. I believe it's a 5 megapixel portrait lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. And here's just a small selection of camera samples that I snapped around the home in various levels of brightness. As you can see, the camera certainly does start to struggle once the lighting conditions are more ambient. If you want to shoot a video on the Murena One, well, you've got a wide variety of resolutions you can select from. I'd recommend just sticking with the Full HD 1920 by 1080. Here's some of that hot sample footage shot at Full HD resolution at 30 frames per second. And again, as long as you temper your expectations quite considerably, you'll be all right. And then last up around front, you've got a 25 megapixel selfie shooter, which again, absolutely all right for your basic bog standard shareable shots. I certainly won't be sharing that one though, that's for damn sure. And here's an example of a Full HD resolution video shot using that selfie cam right there. So as you can see there, the Murena One will do the job if you do want to do a bit of Skyping or any of that online video shenanigans. And that right there in a nutshell, my lovelies, is the Murena One smartphone. Choose freedom, and it certainly is a unique proposition, that's for sure. Although if I was super concerned about my privacy, keeping all of my data to myself and basically sticking 2 fingers up at Google, I'd probably just use a custom ROM or something like that, to be perfectly honest. Especially as with the Murena One, you are making some serious sacrifices when it comes to that hardware. You haven't got a gorgeous OLED display or some really good camera tech like you get on some rivals like the Pixel 6a. But it'd be great to hear what you guys reckon down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a really wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you.